Hey guys, how are you? I hope everyone is doing great out there. And today we have this component with us, the master cylinder. And if you are wondering where it is, and shout out to my friend for letting me to review or give an insider perspective on this thing. And let's have a complete dismantle of this thing and look at it from the insider perspective. And uh, let's go ahead. Now let's have a look of the all the components of it, and I'm gonna nomenclature every individual component and describe its functioning. I hope by this idea you can get an idea of how a master cylinder works. And okay, let's begin with this. Like, there are actually two kinds of master cylinders. One is the axial one and one is the radial one. This is of axial type. Why? Because this is the mounting point for the handlebar, and this is where we apply pressure. We apply brake pressure in this direction towards this side, and that pressure is converted into this side. You will get an inside perspective very easy. Please wait for a few moments. Like, this is the axial type, and I will describe what is the radial type in a few moments. Okay, let's begin dismantling this thing. uh, First part that you get out is this stop cover for the master cylinder. And this thing is an old one. I pulled out this thing from a friend's motorcycle. This thing was almost short. We had to replace it. We can rebuild it, but I thought of making a video, so I just bought it. My friend got another one at a good price. Like, this is the component, and there is one more component. uh, this is called the diaphragm, and this is called the diaphragm backing plate, and this is how these go in together. And this sits below this, but this is from another motorcycle. My friend lost this thing, so I had to source this from another motorcycle, but the functioning is essentially same. This is called a diaphragm. Okay, let's put it here. I will organize these things one after the other, and this thing goes right here, and just pull this thing out. And here comes the screw, and here comes the bolt and nut attached to it. And here comes our brake lever. There is nothing so fancy about it, and place it aside and place it somewhere here. And this is what important. Actually, we are missing a part. There is a part called dust cover, which protects all the dust from outside entering into it, and this is called a push rod. This is called a push rod, and this connects the internal parts of the master cylinder to the brake lever. This is where this sits in the brake lever. This is how it goes. This goes into this notch, and this goes into this notch, and the brake sits right here. Now let's discuss about the axial versus radial type. Now assume that the handlebar is like this, and the force which we apply, the braking force, is a radial force, and this force is converted into axial force. So axial force, in the sense, it is in parallel to the handlebar. This radial force from this side is converted into axial force from this side. That is why this is called as axial master cylinder. In case of other types, the radial ones, the master cylinder is located right here. The radial force that you apply from this side is converted into radial force on this side. So there is no transfer of force. So it is a bit more efficient, but it is very expensive to build. That's why we employ these things. And let's put the push rod right here, and I'm taking this lever aside. There is nothing great about it. And this is called the banjo bolt. Look at it. This uses a 14 mm spanner, and I've already made this thing loose. And this is called the banjo bolt. The banjo bolt has two copper washers, the inner washer and the outer washer, and the brake hose sits between these two, and these two copper washers help us in seizing the brake fluid only between the braking system, and there are no leaks just because of these copper washers. And I will show all these parts in a while, and let's place this aside. And the most important thing is, I don't know if camera can focus, or this is called the circle. And in order to remove circlip, you need a special tool. This is called nose pliers, very sharp nose. This circlip, there is a clip in it, just have to pull it and pull it aside. This is the circlip. The circlip sits into a groove which locks the master cylinder piston, and master cylinder piston. This is the reason. The moment you remove the circlip, it has to push itself outside. But the circlip is the piston itself is damaged. The rubber O-rings in it, are the rubber seals or swelled, so it is getting stuck. Oh man, this thing is stuck. Yeah, it is finally out, and just look at it. And this is the shell for the master cylinder, and this is a casting. There are no moving parts in it, and this is just the casing right now. We'll place it here, and this is the most important part of all. And everything in here is like pretty much stuck. This is the return spring, and this is the pistons, and these are the seals or the rubber seals which go bad. It has the inner seal and the outer seal. Now let us look at the function of every other thing. Let's recall the parts we have. This is the diaphragm, and this is the back top cover, and this is the backing plate of the diaphragm, and we have banjo bolt, inner banjo bolt along with the inner washer, outer washer, the locking nut or the nut, and a circlip, and a return spring, and a piston, master cylinder piston, and this is the casing. And I forgot to mention this thing, and this is the oil window, and this is located on the right side of the master cylinder. And this is the place, or this is the cutout where you can get to inspect the condition of the fluid and its level, if it's low on fluid or high on fluid. And this is a sort of simple see-through fluid which has a rubber seal on the other side, and if fluid is less, it will not be visible through this. If this fluid is high, then this thing completely gets immersed in it. And sometimes this thing can get so dirty that it becomes completely translucent. And just look at this. This is the circlip that I am talking about, the smaller circlip, and even the circlip is almost short. The entire thing is short. That's why I'm not really much interested in rebuilding this thing, so I suggested my friend to replace it. Now let's look into the functioning of this. And this is a hydraulic system. This employs hydraulic brake fluid, and this is the piston in the sense this is used to move the fluid in and out of the system. Like this is present in here, and whenever we push in the brake, for an example, we are pushing in the brake, and I'm trying to simulate this with a screwdriver, and whenever you push this, and the piston is supposed to go in, and this outer cup is designed to hold fluid, and whenever we push on this, the piston moves inwards, and it squids, or it pushes some fluid with force. And the banjo bolt is a bolt which has a hole in its center and hole right here, and this is when the seals the o-rings, copper washers come in place, and there is a hose in between these two washers, and it is torqued so that there is a seal between the brake fluid. The brake fluid right here comes from this part, gets sucked into its inner portion, and then it is pushed with force out of this part, and you have these holes. The brake fluid then moves through the banjo bolt and then enters this reservoir, and then it moves into the braking system. And there are that is a different mechanism, and I will make a video, separate video on it some other time. And these are the components of it. This is such a simple system, and the primary reason for it to fail is because of these things. The piston, look at this, the piston is pretty much stuck in place. I can't pull this thing out. And okay, when these are in proper size and it is sealing properly, when we push the piston in, this return spring helps it to come out, so that we will get the brake back. Like the brake will not sink in, we will get the brake back. This is the function of the return spring, and this is the seal which holds and push the fluid into the system. That's it. And I will complete the assembly once again so that you can look at it. Just the first thing which goes in it is the return spring along with this thing. Just push it in and replace the circlip, and the circlip is designed so that the piston will not come out piston will not come out from a certain point. Look at it, the circlip is locked in its place, and then there is a part called dust seal which is present right here, that is missing right now. And it is a sort of a cylindrical shape which prevents movement, but it will not let the dust come in. And this thing goes in between. This is where it sits. Sorry, I should have done this thing. Lock this thing with a screw. You are done. That's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked my video. Please do comment, share and subscribe. And just if you wanna check the wallpaper in the background or the poster in the background, just look at it. And this is my room, and there is one more on the cupboards too, and if you want I will make a video about it. Okay, bye bye, that's it for today. Bye bye, stay home, stay safe, talk to you tomorrow.